Body shot. Ooh, that hurt, didn't it?
When the adrenaline starts pumping and you know what you can do with this right hand, it's hard to not do that.
Here are your hosts, Derick, G, and AJ.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the Bloody Water Podcast. Folks, clearly, as you can see, we're dealing with a little bit of the mix-up. We in New York still. We have half of the, not even half. We have a quarter, not even a quarter. We got 5% of the technological prowess that we normally have. But that's neither here nor there, because we're here to talk about UFC Vegas 60. So, folks, you can see I got the hat on. I don't got my normal mic. Things are weird, but the fights remain the same. And this is the beauty of the situation. Now, we are in a very neck-to-neck competition right here, and I got to introduce my co-host, my competitor, my guy, AJ, the New Mexico native, the Santa Fe bomber himself. AJ, brother, what is happening? Looking fresh, looking fly in the good old setup that we had there in Austin, Texas, my man. How are you living, brother?
Woo, I'm living well, Derick. Austin, Texas, treat me well, folks. And just so you gotta know, man, Derick's talking 5%. Homeboy doesn't even have a desk right now, but you gotta admit, if you can look out, you see a little bit of that New York skyline. It's looking pretty out there in New York. But either way, we're happy to be here, man. It's a lot of fun. This is gonna be a fun week of scraps too, brother.
Absolutely. This is not going to be just a fun week of scraps, man, in comparison to what we had last week, right? Which is like, how can you top that? Chimaev, Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz gets the last laugh. We already talked about all that stuff, right? But then we have a man who arguably defeated the man who should be fighting for a title here soon, TJ Dillashaw, right? I'm just going to say this. The bantamweight division has never been more exciting. It's never been more fun, right? And the dude that is competing on the B side, on the blue side, right? Song Yadong. If you take this man lightly, you're in for a reckoning. You are in for something wild to happen, because this is a dude who has upset written all over it. However, you can't deny my man Cory Sandhagen. Enter the Sandman, enter the Major, whatever you want to call it. This dude is legit as they come. So, AJ, my man, before we jump into everything, let's just set it up real quick, man. And let me, without any further ado, let me just take over for a second. Folks, I want to give you guys the heads up. Listen, because we love you guys, because we are, the biggest fight fans that you can imagine, right? We do this week in and week out for years, man. We love this stuff, right? We have to give you the picks, we have to give you the information, we have to jot down the fights, and we have to talk about it all. However, because, like I said, this technological thing, me, no desk right here, man, we just getting it on the laptop, right? We're going to do it a little condensed here today, right? So everything is going to be a little bit of a TLDR, and we're still going to do a TLDR within the TLDR. But the point is here, just hold out, give us a week and a half, something like that, right? And we'll be back the normal setup, doing the whole entire thing. But until then, AJ, we making it happen, brother. And listen, look at that scoreboard down there. 110-63 for me, 109-64 for you. This is a time right here where I have to say, AJ, I just have to put it out there before we jump into everything. I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. And what I mean by that is that, listen, I got to make sure that I'm on my A game. I got to make sure I'm watching film study. I got to make sure that everything aligns accordingly while I got no technology. But you, my man, you got the headquarters. You ready to go. You got the whole setup. You breaking it down on Twitch at Santa Fe Bomber. I'm just throwing that out there. Listen, my man, even though the playing field is not even, I do have to say, in the fight game, everything's even, man, because there's no such thing as a lock. So, AJ, talk to me just for a split second, my man. We've been doing this thing for years. Talk to the people on why, even if you can be a minus 500 favorite, it doesn't matter. There is no such thing as a lock. There's no such thing as a guarantee in mixed martial arts. Why is that, AJ?
Man, we've seen it week in and week out. There'll be times where everybody, you'll see it even on Tapology, or even, God bless you, if you're going and checking out somebody like Yanni the Greek or any of those ESPN actual analysts, where they'll be saying, oh, this week it's going to be X, Y, and Z. But in the fight game, two people step in the cage, the door gets locked, you're fighting, they're squaring up against another human being that's also in their underwear. Man, anything can happen. And we've seen, like I said, week in and week out, where one thing, everybody in the entire universe is planning out this sort of X's and O's, and then somebody gets caught with a vicious right hook. And I think that and even when you were alluding to it a little earlier, that's the same kind of thing with the Song Yadong fight. It's the same kind of thing in the Chidi and Njokuani fight we're going to be talking about soon. It's the same thing for both of our sleepers that are going to be coming up, folks, in this fight game. There's no such thing as a lock. And even on this channel right here in the Bloody Water Podcast, I might have, the 3-screen setup, all the luxuries of home, but sometimes that laptop and that that view in the background can sometimes get the best of you, and you never know. So we both have to be on top of our A game. Nonetheless, man, you can't take any week off out here.
So I think what my guy AJ is more or less saying is that it doesn't matter where you are, anything goes at any times. There's no locks, and it's fair play to all. I don't care how you feel about it, you dig? So let's get into it, man. I'm amped up. Folks, we're going to jump into this TLDR, then we'll jump into the sleepers. You already know what time it is. But before we do that, do us a solid, man, because we out here on the road getting it, right? Drop a like, subscribe, share the show with your friends, and make sure that you let the people know the Bloody Water Podcast is your favorite fighter's favorite fight show. But you already knew that. I didn't even need to say that, right? So let's get into it, brother. All right, my man, the ever familiar betting sheet, UFC Vegas 60 it is. And normally I was actually a little worried about this. I said we might just have the same picks all over again. It might just happen, but we got some differences, my man. So of course, main event, let's talk about it. Cory Sandhagen, that is the lock of the night, I guess, if you want to call it, for the main event. Now AJ, I'm just going to point this out there. There's by no means are we saying Cory Sandhagen is just going to run away with this. It's going to be, don't even blink your eyes at it. He got it. No, Song Yadong is formidable, but we know how good Cory Sandhagen is. So in a sentence or two, tell me why you're so confident in Sandhagen getting the job done.
Ooh, man, honestly, so confident is even a stretch to say, because like you said before, Song Yadong can absolutely put your lights out. But I like Cory Sandhagen in this one because he's coming up with a chip on his shoulder, something to prove for the fact that he didn't lose his last fight. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about it, right? That's kind of my same logic, right? You arguably beat TJ Dillashaw, right? We're talking about damage versus control. That's going to be the kind of the argument we might make today. And then you fight Petr Yan, who, you lost to Aljamain Sterling, but this is the guy. This is, if there's champ 1A is Algeo, champ 1B is Petr Yan. We already know what time it is, man. So just what Cory Sandhagen, he is the real deal. We'll just leave that at that. When we're talking about the co-main event, AJ, I think you might be a little bit surprised about the person that I picked here. And even though we're both huge fans of Chidi and Njokuani, I have been a very avid and active fan of Gregory RoboCop Rodrigues. However, AJ, I'm just going to say this is my one sentence reason on why I think Chidi and Njokuani gets the job done. We've seen fighters who are fantastic grapplers who end up getting a couple knockout wins and then fall in love with their hands. And they go against the grain. They go against what got them to the dance. And I think that's kind of been the story of Gregory Rodrigues. We know he's a phenomenal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Now, him using the black belt is a little bit different than being a black belt, right? So if you don't use it, it doesn't matter. And if there's anybody you want to stay away from in terms of on the feet, just straight up striking clinic, it's Chidi and Njokuani. What are we talking about here, brother? So are you kind of picking them for that same reason?
I'm with you, Derick. I'm going bang, bang, Chidi and Njokuani all day long, especially because what you're talking about, you fall in love with those hands. Yeah. There's one person you don't want to be standing against, Chidi bang, bang out there.
100%. All right, man. Now we got our first level of contention here. Andre Touchy Fili versus Bill Senor Perfecto Algeo, my man. And this is a fight, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but I think that this is a rebooking. I think this fight was already supposed to take place, got canceled for whatever reason, and now they're getting rebooked. Maybe, AJ, you could take a look at that while I'm talking about this for a second, but I just want to say that if we're talking about an Andre Touchy Fili who did, flat out, man, he got starched by Joe Anderson Brito in his last fight. Like, it's as real as they come, right? But this is a dude, man, who is always competitive, always game, very long, rangy striker, and I think if he's able to mitigate some of that wrestling, not even wrestling, some of the grappling of Bill Algeo and keep the fight on the feet, I think he's going to be a little bit too long too long and too dangerous, and Bill Algeo won't be able to get the job done, but Andre Fili will be able to get the decision. Now, AJ, was I wrong? Was I right? Is this a rebooking or no?
It's at least not on Tapology. It didn't say. Usually they're pretty good about the rebooking coming in, so it's at least not there. But I feel like it's been long coming that these two are going to fight. Me personally, I like Algeo a little bit better in this one because he's on a little bit more of a roll, but I feel like the pressure is on Fili for this one.
Absolutely. No, you're right about that, man. We'll talk about it obviously in depth in a second. Of course, this is the TLDR. Now, we move on to the next one. We're back in consensus. Joe Pyfer over Alen Amedovski. And I think the logic here is very simple, right? Joe Pyfer is the man with bombs in his hands, with fantastic wrestling, great counter striking, and Alen Amedovski just got basically starched bad, right, by Ugly Man Joe, right, Joe Holmes, and by my man. Who's my man he just got starched by? He's the Welsh, John Phillips. There we go. John Phillips knocked his block off, man. It was nasty. It was ugly. This is a dude, though, Alen Amedovski. You cannot discredit the man. He has dangerous hands, right? But when it comes down to some of the grappling, we get a little complacent. And Joe Pyfer, man, I just see him being dangerous in every single aspect other than experience. What do you think?
Man, I'm not saying smash spot for Pyfer coming up, Derick, but somebody does not like Amedovski, because you're talking Christoph Jocko's your intro.
Yeah.
Then you go get smashed on overhand left by John Phillips, and then you meet ugly man Joe Holmes. Yeah, somebody doesn't like Amedovski. This might be his time to step up, but damn, you're fighting a big one in Pyfer. It's going to be interesting to see.
100%. And I'm glad that you noted that. Listen, going to a decision against Christoph Jocko isn't the most impressive thing because the man has like 1 trillion decisions on his record, but it is impressive because Jocko, we know how good it is. Let's just say that loss aged pretty well. We'll just say that. All right, folks. And then the last 2 fights the first 2 fights of the main card, I should say, a little contention between us, man. So I'm rolling with Tanner Boser and my man AJ. You got Rodrigo Nascimento. And I can see the logic, right? But I compare a Tanner Boser to one of those hybrid light heavyweights that are fighting at heavyweight, kind of like a Chris Dawkins in a way, even though Dawkins is a big boy, and we know what happens when Dawkins got in there with Nascimento. It was ugly, it was quick, right? But then again, Nascimento grabs you, takes your back, it's over. It's over. This dude's jiu-jitsu is fantastic. But let's not forget what Tanner Boser did to Ovin St. Preux and, their fight. I'm just going to throw that out there. Ovin St. Preux had the takedown. Boser got back up, kneed his face in, smashed his skull, and finished him. I like Boser here. I think he's just better overall, and I think he's going to be able to keep the fight standing. Now, do you think Nascimento, are you that confident? He just gets the job done, takes it to the ground, chokes him?
Well, I'm glad you were talking about past opponents, Derick, because that's what did it for me. Because I agree, Tanner Boser is that hybrid style of heavyweight, but so was Alen Boudot, who was Rodrigo Nascimento's last fight.
True.
And I see things kind of going the same way, whether you get put to sleep or standing TKO. Nascimento's got power in both aspects.
Absolutely. And you know what, brother? I'm just going to point this out because we're going to talk about this in depth in a second. Let's not forget Alen Boudot, one guy that I've gotten behind many a time, is the dude who I think has the most fights where he was winning and then lost in like the UFC history, bro. So it's like he's winning, and then he manages to lose every single one of these fights. I don't know how it happens, but it is spectacular. Little contention there. And then last one right here, folks. I got Fluffy Anthony Hernandez, and my man AJ has Power Bar, Marc-Andre Barriult. And I'm not going to lie, this was a difficult one to pick. And honestly, to me, this is a pick 'em. This is a 50-50 shot, even though Hernandez is the betting line favorite. So with that being said here, AJ, just give me like what's the 1-sentence version on why you got Barriult winning this fight against Fluffy Hernandez?
Coin toss, Derick.
Yeah.
It's a coin toss, brother. That's what it is for me. And if you're a betting one, this is a stay away. But honestly, this could go either way. It's going to be a very exciting fight. I was just, like I said, coin toss, brother. What about you?
I'm 100%. I like Anthony Fluffy Hernandez simply because if you look at his last fight, right, you look at the grappling dominance he's able to put on display. It's very telling, man. And it's actually it builds a lot of confidence, right? The biggest one, of course, you gassed out Rodolfo Vieira, man, the black belt hunter, and you were able to get the finish on him. Was it a choke as much as it was an exhaustion tap? A little bit of both, right? But the whole entire point is Fluffy Hernandez is tougher than I think a lot of us think. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, folks, that was actually a little longer than we normally do, but that's the TLDR. We gave you everything right there. So if you want to just exit out the video, run to your sports book and go catch the picks in, by all means, please do it. But you got to do one solid. You got to let the folks know where you got the picks from. So let everybody know Bloody Water Podcast is the home, the hub, and the source for premier picks and analysis. And of course, once again, favorite fighters, favorite fight show. But you already knew that. Now, folks, I hope you're ready because we're going to breeze through this one real quick. Let's get into some sleepers, AJ. Let's get it, brother.
It's time for some fight night.
And if you ain't paying attention, you're going to sleep on me and I'm going to wake you up. And AJ, man, I actually think it's a tradition that we have here on the Bloody Water Podcast that we make the sleeper. Oftentimes, one of your sleepers or one of my sleepers happens to also be the first bout of the night. And that's not by coincidence. The reason why, actually, I don't even want to, AJ, you tell the people, what's the reason why the first fight of the night often is strategic and placed there for a reason?
Derick, because not only is the UFC good at making a storyline, but the UFC also knows who's coming to bring the fight, and they like to put the first fight of the night as an absolute banger. And that's the same thing with this one coming up, man. And I don't want to jump right into it, but I'm going to anyway, man. First fight of the night, we're rocking with Nicholas Mota versus Cameron Van Camp. It's my sleeper, and there's a reason that the UFC is putting this up front because both of these dudes are in the highlight weight class, 155 pounds, going to be bringing the heat. And why I picked this one as a sleeper, Derick, is because both of these dudes have a lot to prove. They both got finished. I'm pretty sure they both got finished in their first fight. Let me make sure. Yup. Yup, both of them got finished in their first UFC performance, so they're gonna have to be bringing the heat, man. And if you're getting finished in your first fight, and don't get me wrong, Nicholas Mota fought Jim Miller, so it's hard. But either way, if you're getting finished in your first one, you're gonna have a lot to prove. Both these dudes have power. Both these dudes have speed. The UFC knows what they're doing when they put fights on the first card. So, folks, you have to tune in early. This one's gonna be a banger. You agree with me, Derick? Is that where you were going?
I 100% agree with you because, yeah, if you look at the respective opponents between those two fighters, right? For Nicholas Mota, it was Jim Miller. For Cameron Van Camp, it was Andre Fialho. Come on, bro. You don't get that as your first opponent unless you're the real deal. You know what I'm saying? So, suffice it to say, folks, that's going to be a banger. Tune in. You already know what time it is. Someone's getting slept in this one. Now, for my sleeper, it's kind of along a similar storyline, if we're really being honest right here. I'm going the next fight above that, right? And I'm talking about Tony Gravely versus Javid Basharat. And if you know anything about MMA, folks, and if you're an avid fan, just like I am, just like AJ is, you all actually know Basharat's brother just fought at Dana White's Contender Series in the main event, I believe, just a couple days ago, right? And I believe he got a very domination win right there, right? So it runs in the Basharat brothers. These Basharat boys can fight. But here's the thing. The reason why this is a fun fight right here, and I'll just pull up the ESPN sheet right there. Tony Gravely, a fantastic wrestler, but we've quickly seen the man has stones in his hands, man. Like, he can get the job done in terms of a striking contest. Now, when we're talking about Javid Basharat, not only did he come up with a bunch of submission wins, TKO wins, look at his first win in the UFC. We're talking to Trevin Jones, right? We're talking the same Trevin Jones that has a win over Timur Valiev that got overturned because of marijuana. We're talking about a real stud fighting out of what? Isn't it Guam or something like that, man? Maybe I misplaced that. I don't even want to say anything crazy. But the whole entire point is Javid Basharat has great grappling, fantastic striking, can walk you down, can counter-strike with the best of them. And I think these Basharat brothers are going to be a very household name here in the UFC very shortly. Just give it a couple of months, maybe give it till halfway point of next year, and everyone's going to know about this. But this fight right here is going to make it, because if Basharat can get a decisive victory against Tony Gravely, you need to understand that Tony Gravely, that name carries a lot of weight. And the reason why I say that is because look at the last couple opponents, right? You got Johnny Munoz, you got Oliveira, not Charles Oliveira, you got a different Oliveira, right? Nate Maness, where he lost that fight, but it was still very impressive. Anthony Burchak, man, get the KO win over him, fantastic wrestler. The whole entire point here, too long, didn't read. Someone is going to sleep here. It's either you get knocked out, you're getting grappled up, someone's getting submitted, someone's getting knocked out. But if this ends in a decision, I'm going to be very surprised. And the only reason, AJ, that this fight would end up in a decision is because both of these dudes got rocked and were somehow able to survive and get back up and flip the fight in their direction, because that's how good these fighters are. Do you agree with me there?
I agree 100%, folks. Yeah. Derick said it best, but you're going to have to be tuning, because soon enough, these Basharat bros are going to be coming in, and people are going to be calling them the Basharat bros, because these dudes can fight. Same thing with Tony Gravely, man. This is going to be a banger. I think first fight of the night, sleeper, going to be a banger. Second one follows suit, very much so.
And listen, we're strategic here. I don't just go out. And AJ, you tell the people too, man. When we're picking sleepers, I'm not just like, let me look down the list. And no, I don't go like that, right? We're taking a look. We're looking at methodologies. We're looking at finishes. We're looking at past opponents, recent history. And we're using kind of an algorithm in our own brain to determine who should be our sleeper or not. AJ, man, it's not as simple as just, that's going to be the sleeper, right? Like, talk to the people. What's your process?
Man, that's exactly it. I go on what, because all these fighters, there's no fight in which you're instantly just gonna have this is just who these people are. Name value isn't really a thing on these at least this level of fight style. Man, one of the big things that I go off of is the implications, is the storyline behind it, is the X's and O's, and how all of these fighters are actually coming in and melding into their own. It makes for a lot of interesting decisions, but it isn't just the throwing a dartboard at the wall. Oh yeah, that's who we're going with. There is some serious heat behind every one of these fighters out here, and it's going to provide for even more of a show. I also think that's why the UFC lines them up the way they do.
Of course. And folks, if you're a true avid fan of the Bloody Water podcast, true supporter, I want one of you guys to do this for me. You don't even got to show it, but just go do it in your own accord, right? I want you to go through some of the sleepers that we've done over the past couple of weeks and just go take a look at how it correlates in terms of results. Because oftentimes you're going to see someone's getting knocked out, someone's getting submitted. Seldom does it happen where it's just like a boring ass fight. And when it does, we come back on the show the next week and say, sorry guys, that was fucking boring. You know what I'm saying? But folks, those are your sleepers. Cash them in and make sure you tune into these ones on the card. UFC Vegas 60, man. This is actually incredible. 60 events in Vegas. This is incredible. But let's not mince any more words, AJ. Let's get into some main card, brother. I'm hyped up. Let's go.
Here's to another main card breakdown, courtesy of your hosts, Derick G and AJ.
All right, brother, we got it lined up, man. Number 4 versus number 10. Now, once again, seldom do you see something like this happens. Cory Sandhagen, he says, listen, man, I don't mind fighting down in the rankings because, to be honest with you, I'm not looking at a number. I'm looking at competition, and Song Yadong is as game as they come. I think this is a legitimate challenge. Now, if you're Song Yadong, on the other hand, AJ, you got to think that bodes confidence, right? That builds that up. You say, oh, Cory Sandhagen, yeah, that's right. Team Alpha Male, let's get it. You know what I mean? Like, he should be putting some respect on my name. Nobody else does, but Cory Sandhagen does, so this is going to be a fun fight. Now, before we talk about this, AJ, I don't know if you've seen these recent comings and goings, speculation here. Israel Adesanya-esque speculations of some gyno situations happening in the Team Alpha Male camp. Now, if we talked about steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, what would be the correlating camp that kind of went hand in hand with that? Maybe it's Team Alpha Male. I'm not saying, but I am just kind of saying. But I'm not saying at the same time. AJ, you tell me. Song Yadong, I doubt that there's any fishy business going down here just because I like the man so much, but I don't know this individual. I don't know any of these guys. I think he's a star-studded fighter. Given his results in the octagon, would there be any need for him to be taking these performance-enhancing drugs? He's not a huge guy, but he's not a small guy. I think I mean, are you dismissive? Do you need more evidence? What do you think? There's a picture, and the nip was just sagging down a little bit. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not making any accusations whatsoever, to be clear, but I need your thoughts, AJ. What do you think?
Man, if there's ever a camp that I think that, it would be a little more willing to cross that line or toe that bridge, however you say. I'm not saying it's Team Alpha Male, but I'm also saying it's probably Team Alpha Male. I mean, there's a reason that they're in there. They're scrapping, like on their sparring sessions. They're not the guys who are just going out there pitter pattering. You need some recovery. You need some extra little boost. I think if anyone's out there of Team Alpha Male, that is Song Yadong's not going to be the guy who's peddling off everything. Am I saying he wouldn't benefit from it? Everybody benefits from it. Yeah. So it's hard to do, and you are the company that you keep. So it's interesting to see. I don't know, man. It's would I be shocked? No. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that too, man, because I'm not trying to add any fire to the flame or any fuel to the fire or whatever the metaphorical saying is. The whole entire point is that this was a post going around on Reddit right now, and you do got to think back on the TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt thing, where Cody Garbrandt called TJ out like way in advance of him actually getting caught. So we'll just leave that at that. Let's talk about the fight here, AJ, man. Cory Sandhagen, yeah, what he lacks in experience because he has less overall fights than Song Yadong, I think he makes up an experience in a weird way. And what I mean by that is you lack fight experience, but you make up for that in fighting elite caliber opponents. Song Yadong, you technically have more experience, but you haven't fought the same high-level competition that Sandhagen has. So I think that they can meet in the middle there. Now, this is the big key here, AJ. Cory Sandhagen is tall, he's long, right? And he's going to be able to more or less kind of style on Song Yadong if this maintains just a striking contest and Song Yadong can't force his way inside the distance and just completely throw Sandhagen off of his rhythm. Now, what we saw against Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw was that what was the mitigating factor that kind of stole the fight for Dillashaw? It was the wrestling. I'm going to ask you just flat out, and I want a plain and clear answer here. Does Song Yadong possess the grappling or the wrestling repertoire to be able to kind of mimic that TJ Dillashaw performance against Cory Sandhagen?
No.
All right. Well, that was very simple. Now, please elaborate, brother. Why do you think that is?
Well, if there's a camp that's going to teach him how to do that, I do think Team Alpha Male is the one to do it. But sometimes, especially when things are going on and you're kind of in that mode, you resort back to kind of what's your lowest level of training, what you're comfortable with. And Song Yadong carries power in those fists, bro. He's got a stone for hands, and if you sleep on him for a second, he's going to be putting you out. He's going to be like Bobby King says, man, you sleep on him, he's going to be waking you up, and there's nothing worse than waking up on the stool and Song Yadong has his hands up. He's winning. That could be what's going on right now, but does he possess the wrestling power, the wrestling prowess? I don't really think so. And we haven't really – I don't think we consider any fighter that's coming over from Asia or any other country, unless you're grown in America, you've been wrestling since day one, that you're really going to be that power style of wrestler. Now, can you learn that? Yes. Can Song Yadong process that and put it into application in a fight, in a fight where Cory Sandhagen is styling on you, where you're trying to break up his rhythm, but he's not even this normal rhythm fighter. He's an awkward rhythm fighter. It seems like a tall task to me. I don't really see him doing it. What about you?
Yeah, I don't really see it happening here. And to be honest with you, the thing that worries me in this matchup, because clearly we both picked for Sandhagen, Song Yadong's speed is something that gives people fits, man. It gives people fits. And he's faster than Sandhagen. I honestly believe that. the one thing that bodes very well, in my opinion, for the estimation of how this fight plays out is that Cory Sandhagen's footwork is so phenomenal that you can't hit what you can't touch, if that makes sense, right? So what is it? Power beats power. What is it, man? Timing beats power, and what is it?
Speed beats power. No. Timing beats power. Precision beats speed.
Something like that, man. But that's the whole entire point right here. Is if Sandhagen's footwork is as effective as it's generally been over the course of his career, right? Song Yadong and his whole entire style of I'm going to get in there, I'm going to be bounce back, I'm going to be very agile, I'm going to be very fast twitch. I just don't think you're going to be utilizing what you need to be effective against Cory Sandhagen, because let's be honest, in the TJ Dillashaw fight, and I hate to keep referring to that fight, right, but that's like literally the biggest fight that he's had. I think arguably bigger than the Petr Yan fight. TJ Dillashaw had more control time, and that's what won him the fight. Cory Sandhagen did more damage. If you do that against Song Yadong, man, I mean, let's be honest, man, this is the stiffest opposition he's fought. If you look at Song Yadong's record, it's not shabby by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not like fantastic. You got Marlon Moraes, the ghost of Marlon Moraes, who knocked out, who Sandhagen also has a win against him, so you can't really count that as too much either. Knocked out Julio Arce, split decision to Casey Kenny. You got a big decision win against Chito Vera. That's huge right there. A draw against Cody Stamen, knockout wins against Alejandro Perez. That's huge. But that's what I'm talking about. Cory Sandhagen, man, this dude is just a different caliber right here. So it's round 3. It's round 4, man. These dudes are getting a little bit tired, man. Even though Sandhagen trains at elevation, he's got a fantastic cardio, all that good stuff, man. Who has the edge going into rounds 3, round 4? Like, basically what I'm asking you is, does Song Yadong need to get it done early for him to get it done, or can he win a decision?
Now, can he win a decision? I don't really know. I don't think so. But what does give me a little bit of pause for concern in those late rounds is the ego of Cory Sandhagen, where you start thinking, okay, like my timing's been going. This guy's a little faster than me. I need to beat him up. I need to solidify this win. And then the speed of Song Yadong catches you on one, and next thing you know, you're on shaky legs. And Song Yadong's coming in full power, throwing lefts and rights, and actually getting you where you weren't expecting this to happen. But as that ego fighter, as we've seen Cory Sandhagen do, he's going to come back with some stuff, and that's where the counter striking of Song Yadong gives me a little bit of concern. Now, as the fight goes on and Cory Sandhagen's able to stay composed, stay calm, pick his shots, stay that fast movement, that footwork that you're talking about, if that's the fight that goes on, I'm Cory Sandhagen all day. But like I said, it gives me a little pause for concern if the ego comes out and Song's able to land a big one on it.
Song Yadong can land a big one at any time in this fight, man. He can put Sandhagen out for sure. Easier said than done, clearly, right? The other thing you got to take into consideration is that Cory Sandhagen's jiu-jitsu is very dangerous. I mean, this dude heel hooked TJ Dillashaw and destroyed the man's knee like early in the fight. And now TJ Dillashaw is just that much of a beast. He just fought through it and ended up winning the fight. But listen, man, I think anywhere you go with Cory Sandhagen, you're not in a good spot. You definitely don't want to grapple with the dude. And if you're striking with him, you got to close the distance. And that's just what it comes down to. Watch out for a flying knee. Watch out for something wacky coming from Cory Sandhagen. Overall, though, I like Cory Sandhagen here. I think I'm going to find it pretty hard pressed for him to get a finish over Song Yadong unless it comes in the form of some kind of grappling. But I like Sandhagen. I like him being longer. I like him being able to control where the fight takes place, and I like him being able to just kind of control the striking overall. I think Song Yadong will have some flashes, have some good moments, but I like a decision at plus 110 for Cory Sandhagen. And I honestly think that even the plus 110, even though there's great value on it, the money line is probably the best way to go right here, man, because I think some people could be surprised depending on how this fight plays out. How do you see it, AJ?
Yeah, I agree with you, Derick, because I honestly, even with that plus 900 submission, I wouldn't be surprised to see a submission come out here. So if you're going to be putting some money on this one, I think the money line, that minus 200, it seems crazy, but I think that's the most lucrative outcome because this fight can end in any multitude of ways. And even if you're betting on Song Yadong, man, that plus 325 KO, there's a reason that's the best of all of his odds. So we could see that happening. But if you're going Sandhagen, I'm with you. I think that decision makes the most sense to me. Unless you're putting some money on it, then you're going money line.
Now, listen, I love that, man. And if you're looking at the over-under, it's 4.5. And if we're looking at the odds on that, minus 170 for the over. So odds makers like that too. Now, I got to ask you this, just your rebuttal to this. There are a couple people on Twitter right now who are saying, well, I want to guarantee. They're guaranteeing stuff. You can never guarantee stuff, right? But they're saying Cory Sandhagen comes Saturday, he's going to style all over Song Yadong for 5 rounds. Give me a rebuttal to that. How do you feel about that?
Whew, like we said before, there is no guarantee in the world. All it takes is one big right hand from Song Yadong. The
Yeah.
next thing you know, your legs are shaking. You're seeing stars. Will that happen to Cory Sandhagen? Let's say it does. He just goes for the choke out.
Yeah.
Round 3 comes, taps you out. Where's the sure, he still won. Our guy still won, but he didn't style on him for 5 rounds. Nothing's a guarantee, especially a 5 round. You talking 25 minutes, you're guaranteeing something? Bullshit. No way.
And this is an elite caliber, but I can't even talk high enough against Song Yadong. I know he's number 10, but I'm telling you, people are saying, is he ready? I think he'll be ready to show up. Ready against Cory Sandhagen, that's another story, but I think he'll be ready to show up. So that's your pick. That is your main event, folks. This is this is a fight fan's dream right here. I got to point that out for you. So that's your main event. Take it to the bank, cash that thing, man. Now for the co-main, man. It's conflict written all over this. Bang, bang, Chidi and Njokuani, man, with the fucking, the start of a lifetime here in the UFC versus RoboCop, who has fought some tough opponents, man. It's been very up and down. And if you look at his last fight, man, I'm not gonna lie, as a RoboCop fan myself, I was very disappointed, very disappointed. However, it's growing pains right here on Gregory Rodrigues. He fought a very, very tough competitor, right? Now, here's the question here: -115 for Chidi, -105 for Gregory Rodrigues. That just simply implies Chidi is a slight favorite, but this is more or less a pick'em. AJ, man, do you think? I feel like the odds makers got to feel the same way. Everybody has to feel. They know in terms of grappling, Rodrigues is like levels above Chidi. He just doesn't use it, so nobody can really factor that in, and it's terrible. Do you think he's going to sit here and he's going to trade with Njokuani for 3 rounds? Like, just stand and bang. Do you think that's what's really going to happen?
Yes, 100%, man, because once you fall in love, there's no feeling like knocking somebody clear unconscious, knocking their block off, sending their mouthpiece into the 3rd row. It feels the best. It is. You get to talk the most shit. Your friends are impressed. Everything's going crazy. There's no feeling like that. Even submitting somebody, it's still a good feeling. But there's something about it. And when Gregory Rodrigues, we've seen it time and time again, he loves it. And I see another thing with the ego coming out. You're fighting another guy, man. Your pride's on the line. I think we see a standing contest right here.
And I think that's why they call him RoboCop, man, because to be completely frank with you, look at his last fight, Julian Marquez, right? It was literally a kill or be killed. Every fight is a kill or be killed mentality. It's not like, all right, I'm going to play it safe. We're going to use strategy. It's, oh, you just hit me? All right, I got to hit you back. You get me? I got to give you one back. It is what it is. And it just scares me because Chidi and Njokuani is such a sharpshooter. Listen, Rodrigues has a hell of a chin on him, man, but Chidi and Njokuani hits different. Look at his last fight against Dusko. Flatlined, right? Power bar, Marc-Andre Barriult, flatlined. Look, Salsa, that was the Dana White Contender Series, right? I think it was, at least, right? 3rd round, knockout. 2nd round knockout before. Like, this dude knocks people out, man. He flatlines people. It's not even a close thing. And we do see he does have some legitimate takedown defense. So I do think if Rodrigues gets him to the ground, at least the first time, maybe 2nd time, I think Chidi will be able to get back up. The question is, can Rodrigues put on, and this is my theory right here, AJ. I'm a huge fan of Gregory Rodrigues, and I actually watched him at the UFC Apex Fight Pass Invitational #1. It was the first one they had at the Apex Center. I watched Gregory Rodrigues do no-gi submission grappling. And here's the thing, man. This dude can grapple for a solid minute and not get tired. But I feel like in MMA, when he goes all out grappling for a round, I think he doesn't want to gas himself out for rounds 2 and 3, so he just avoids it. So, with that being said, is there any chance in the world here, AJ? There's got to be a slight chance that the man says the game plan is to wrestle. Let's wrestle. Because if not, this is Chidi and Njokuani. What? Out of 10 times, how many times? Standing, like a straight up striking affair. How many times for Chidi?
8.
Yeah, I was gonna say between 6 to 8. That's Chidi 6 to 8. Rodrigues got bombs too. Don't get me wrong, man. He could really start you. Clearly, you fall in love with the hands for a reason. But what other tangibles or even intangibles does Chidi and Njokuani have that's gonna make this very difficult for Rodrigues?
The takedown defense, like you're talking about, man. He can see the takedowns coming. He can see the fight style. Chidi and Njokuani has a good way of reading things. And then the precision, too, whenever you see somebody coming in, hitting them uppercuts, hitting them with clean crosses, across the body. There's ways at which Chidi can do it to avoid the kind of things. And going back to what you were saying before, I do think that at least in practice or in the locker room or in the planning, Rodrigues has the idea that, yeah, bro, if it comes down to it, we're gonna make this a wrestling contest. But sometimes when you're in there, man, it's old school, middle school locker room. You go, I go. You go, I go. It's kind of how it goes for Gregory Rodrigues. But will we see a wrestling contest? I don't think so. But could it happen? Yes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it could happen. That's what I'm banking on. If I was a Rodriguez better, I would be banking on that. I'd be fucking wishing to the heavens above, like, please wrestle. But this is the key. If it's a you go, I go, Chidi and Njokuani has a 5-inch reach advantage. That's never a good situation for a you go, I go. I think Chidi and Njokuani gets the job done, and the reason why I think he gets it done, man, is because Gregory Rodrigues is too tough for his own good. I love this dude as a fighter, man. You got to understand, I'm a very, very big fan. But when it comes down to competition, this is not about who I love or who I enjoy to watch. This is about who I most likely think is going to win. And I think Chidi and Njokuani wins this fight. And I believe it or not, man, I think he gets a finish. I think he does, man. And I don't want to go this way, but he's such a sharp shooter, and Rodriguez' defense is lacking to a certain degree that I think that he feels like he might be able to eat one, and it'll just be one too many, and Chidi will get the job done. So I'm actually going to go with a knockout, Chidi and Njokuani, and I like the second round on this one, to be completely frank with you, man. So I'm going Chidi, bang, bang. What you got, brother?
I'm actually with you, Derick. I think there's a reason that TKO is the best thing for Njokuani. I think if you're putting money on this, you go money line again. But me personally, I think this fight is ending in a TKO. And since you're going round two, man, I was thinking round two as well. My big thing is who's going to be the fresher fighter when the time comes, when the third round comes, if it's that case, and if we're seeing a styling contest, who's going to be the fresher fighter? I think it might be RoboCop with just all the wrestling he has and all the experience. Time will tell that story. But me personally, man, I'm going Chidi and Njokuani, TKO, late round one.
Oh, sheesh. Okay, I was not expecting that. Okay, right on, man. So I'm not going to lie. I thought you were going to take the over for the TKO because it's 2.5 rounds, right? So there's still the chance of getting the over on that one. The reason why odds makers, they like the over. I think they think a decision is going to be coming, but if there's any indication that the odds makers are hedging their own bet, it's taking a look at the props, right? Right there. Boom, props. Plus 300 for Njokuani, plus 400 for Rodriguez. That's kind of giving you the hint that it's like someone's probably going to go to sleep in this one. You know what I'm saying? So listen, co-main event, stacked. Chidi getting the co-main bump because Sadiq Youssef, he was supposed to fight Giga Chikadze on this card. Obviously, that one fell out, and that's why this one got bumped to the co-main. But, oh, man, fun fight right there. All right, moving along. AJ, my man, we was talking about this just a second ago. Andre Touchy-Fili, he gets the fight against Senor Perfecto Bill Algeo. And clearly this is a well-rounded striker who has some legit wrestling chops versus a really, really good grappler who can strike, right? And I'm talking about Fili versus Algeo. Now, the money line has Fili as a small favorite, minus 125, plus 105 comeback for Algeo here. I think that this is a matter of paths to victory, if I'm being fair. In the path to victory for Bill Algeo, I think there's one that's most prevalent over all of them, and that is, can you wrestle Andre Fili, put him on his back, make him play jiu-jitsu, and just win out on control time? I think that's the most fair assessment. What do you think?
I think so, and I even think the odds makers agree. If you look at that plus 175 decision victory, I believe that's what they're thinking with that ground control time. Yeah. I'm with you right there because I was expecting a little bit closer odds for that TKO because just in the way Andre Fili fights and his pass and all the the way he likes to scrap, and sometimes he can get a little overzealous, but that's kind of crazy, man. I think the odds makers are right there with you on that control time on the ground.
Absolutely. And Fili, he can control you too on the ground. I think Fili's a better wrestler, and I think Algeo is a little bit of a better overall grappler, if that makes sense, right? I could be completely wrong on that one. I hope I'm not, because obviously I watch film, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I hope I'm not wrong about that. But I do think Andre Fili, where he's most dangerous is his length, man. He's long. He has a long jab. He has a nice calf kick, right? And he's willing to sit there and be patient in his fights, man. And that's one of the things that I like most about him. So when you take a look at the reach, 1-inch reach advantage for Fili. It's nothing fantastic. He is an inch shorter than Bill Algeo, so they're going to be kind of evenly matched right here. When you're looking at significant strikes landed per minute, Algeo does have the favorite. So like numbers-wise, on paper, it does look like Algeo should be the favorite in this matchup, and he should get the job done. But if you look at just kind of like past history and all that stuff, you're going to look at Herbert Burns, that last win. AJ, we can kind of say there's, I mean, do we even need to say anything on that?
I give Algeo credit, but I think that was more of a Herbert Burns issue than anything.
Okay, I understood. And then listen, look at the fight before that, the very fantastic Joe Anderson Brito, right, who has the win against Andre Fili. What do? You outpace the man. You say gas tank? No. You don't got a gas tank. We're gonna outpace you. Javi Ramos or Ricardo Ramos, excuse me. You lose to a decision. Ramos is legit. Spike Carlisle, you get the win, and Ricardo Lamas, I believe, you take the L to. Now for Andre Fili, if we're taking a look at some of these fights, right? Yes, you got the no contest against Daniel Pineda. What happened there, AJ? What was the no contest for again? The eye poke?
Accidental eye poke.
Accidental eye poke. All right, you lose to Bryce Mitchell. And that was a rough loss. I'm just going to leave that was a rough loss. But that's Doug Nasty right there, right? You got a split decision win against Charles Air Jourdain. AJ, talk to me, my man. Given the way that Jourdain has performed as of late, how big is that to you?
Big.
Yes.
And it might, I mean, if you go on in your revisionist history, you could say, you know, this is a rough one. Charles Jourdain could have won the fight, a split decision. Sometimes he always loses those. So there's X's and O's to be had on that one. But either way, that win ages very, very well with how much growth Charles Jourdain has had and how long sustained Andre Fili has been up at this level, man.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is the whole entire thing that won me over for Andre Fili. Yes, this is going to be a close fight, but I think that Andre Fili is going to have a lot of success here because if you just look at strength of schedule, which I very firmly believe in, right? It's going to be path to victory, strength of schedule, and technical analysis. Those are your three cogs in terms of wagering, right? You know what I mean? Throwing wagers on a fight. You look at the losses. Joe Anderson Brito. Okay, yeah, that was a rough one, right? You got stiffed. It was what it was. Before that, Bryce Mitchell, Sadiq Youssef, Michael Johnson, Calvin Cater, Yair Rodriguez. I mean, come on, bro. Max Holloway. What are we talking about? Your losses are to literally the best of the best out there available, aside from Joe Anderson Brito, who is going to soon prove why he's so dangerous. I like Andre Fili here, man. I think the experience is accumulated, and I think if he's rolling, he's rolling. If he's not, he's not, and it is what it is. But when he's rolling, he's dangerous. I like a decision here, Andre Fili. I think he gets the job done, and I'm taking the over, of course, because I'm going decision. Now, Algeo gets it done. How does he get it done? How do you see it, AJ?
Well, I'm kind of it's strange enough because I'm kind of on the same vein you are, man. Why I chose Algeo is because I think he's more of a dog, and at the same point, sometimes Andre Fili can underperform. So all those names you listed off, you know, the Calvin Caters, the Michael Johnsons, the Yair Rodriguez, all those are fighters that Andre Fili has lost to. Mm-hmm. So sometimes in those fights, you know, he's fighting somebody. Dennis Bermudez, our Lobov, that's a good one as well, though. I mean, he did beat Arm Lobov as well, but Miles Journey, so all these people, they're not exactly cream of the crop fighters that he beats. So sometimes he can underperform, he can, you know, fight to his ability. So there's different ways in which Andre Fili can do, but he needs this win bad, which can be good or bad for the pressure of Andre Fili. So why I picked Algeo is just he's more of a dog in this one. He has a little bit more momentum going forward. He's a little bit more ways in which he can, not necessarily ways in which he can get the fight done, but clear path to victory is a hard one too, because Andre Fili, I feel like, is the better fighter here. But I feel like Algeo, like I said, dog, pressure going for him, momentum, all those kind of things. And I'm kind of hoping Andre Fili underperforms a little bit, to be honest, because this is going to be a good fight. There's a reason that he is the underdog, because Andre Fili is a hell of a scrapper. Me personally, man, I'm with the what we were talking about before with the dominance.
Oh, yeah.
Algeo is mean in a dominant position on the ground. I'm taking that plus 175 decision. Could he finish Fili? Yeah, but I'm giving Fili a little bit more credit. I'm going with the decision, plus 175 for Algeo.
100%. Fair play. Over and under is 2.5, and they like the over here, so we might be onto something. And with that being said, that is your fight right there. That is going to be a fun fight. Now, AJ, real quick, before we move on to the next one, I have to make a little bit of a programming note. It was a little bit of an error that I just placed. So that co-main event, Chidi and Njokuani versus Gregory Rodrigues, over and under was actually 1.5 rounds. So that means we're both taking the over. Or actually, I'm taking the over. You're taking the under if you're going round one, right? So I just had to clarify that one right there, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, wait, someone's going to get knocked out. Why would it be 2.5 rounds? Yeah. So it is someone might go to sleep, man. So we might actually be onto something, both of us picking the TKO. Now, given that I thought the over and under, I misread the over and under, that goes to show our analysis. We're on to something right there. You know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. We no need to pat ourselves on the back right now. All right, brother. Fun one right here. Dana White Contender Series alumni versus a dangerous knockout artist. Joe Pyfer, man. What is it? Body bags Pyfer versus Alen Amedovski, man. And Amedovski, who came in with a bunch of knockouts into the UFC, who proceeded to lose the decision, then get knocked out a couple times right after he had like a 28-month layoff in between knockout losses. He's back against a man who, I think you said it the most aptly earlier, man. Somebody does not like Alen Amedovski. Somebody, like, he pissing somebody's Cheerios, bro, because Joe Pyfer is coming off of a nasty left hook, clean the man's clock, right? Nasty left hook win. And given the way that Amedovski fights, Joe Pyfer is one of the biggest mismatches I think that we can kind of see here on this main card. Now, if you did have to choose a reason why Amedovski could win this fight, what would that reason be?
Ooh, man.
And it's not
Power
good.
in the hand.
All right, good. I was going to say, for a second, I was like, it's not good when my man AJ has to think that long about it. Normally, it's like, oh, here's this. And he's like, yeah, no, but you're right. Power in the hands, right?
Power in the hand.
Yeah, and I like that. But, like, elaborate a little bit. Give me some more.
Well, so the thing is with Amedovski, he loads up. He's kind of a plotter. He has a lot of power, and there's a reason he does. He loads up on all that stuff because he has felt success when he actually catches your clock. You know, when he hits and he's actually hitting on flows or combos or movement swift, Amedovski has a lot of power, and he can get you going. The thing is, man, Pyfer has a whole different look. He has great counter punches. That you're talking about that Dana White Contender Series. It wasn't even just a check left hook, man. He parried the shot. He parried the jab out of the way just enough to get that counter hook coming across. Beautiful by Pyfer. But if Amedovski is going to win this one, man, he has to stay in his realm. Foot on the, not necessarily on the gas pedal, but foot leading the dance. He has to win that foot battle, that the advantage where he's actually staying on the outside, letting his power work for him, letting his moves do his thing. And if Amedovski is able to not load up as much, but still land the power shots, put Pyfer on his back foot, kind of get him worried a little bit, then I think we're seeing something interesting right there. Do you agree with me, or are you seeing something different?
You know what's funny? I agree with you, but for all the reasons why Amedovski can win this fight is exactly why I think he's going to lose this fight. It's because you're going to walk... I like that he walks forward. He walks his opponents down, but I also think that Joe Pyfer's style is suited for that specifically for two reasons. The first reason is because he can literally emulate what he did in his last fight and just catch you with a counter strike and knock you clean out, right? But the second thing is the easiest way for me to take you down as a competitor, right, is if you are walking towards me. Just if you look at the physics of the momentum, right, you're walking towards me, I'm right here, you're walking towards me, I just come up and boom, take you down. But if you're backing up and I have to chase you, you have a good shot, get your hips back, sprawl out, all that good stuff, right? So timing, it kind of messes up that whole entire factor. And there's a whole entire reason why somebody will throw for a big shot and somebody will duck under and take him down. I think that's what Joe Pyfer can do because his wrestling is fantastic. He's called body bags for a reason. And it's as simple as this, man. Amedovski is live by the sword, die by the sword, and I think he dies by the sword on this one, proverbially speaking. No one's dying here. But Joe Pyfer, I think, is going to knock my man clean out. First round, TKO. I don't have much else to say, but Amedovski likes to move forward, and I think that's going to be the downfall. Simple as that. I like the first round. I like the under. AJ, Pyfer, how's he get it done?
Ooh, first round, huh, Derick? I'm going TKO as well, but I'm going to give him I was about to give him round 2, and I just don't think that's going to happen. One of the big things that worries me about Amedovski is the same thing we were talking about before. All the stuff, all his pros, where he's loading up, he likes to drop his hands. He drops that lead hand so he can come across with a big one. If you're Joe Pyfer and you've already shown a beautiful parry to a counter, what's the saying you're not going to do that again, especially because Pyfer can cut angles very, very nicely, whether he wants to get to your hips, cut an angle, and then put you down, or cut an angle in the counter punching and then come across. I think Joe Pyfer gets it done. Round 1, TKO. But I'll go late round 1. I don't know if that really matters. It's round 1 regardless, but either way.
Round 1 is round 1, right? And the only reason why I'm so confident on the round 1 is because I think Joe Pyfer, I think he's going to go in there with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and say, I'm going to get this dude out of there. He already said in the press conference, I'm going to come here and I'm going to whoop this dude's ass. You know what I mean? Which, I mean, you got to say it, right? But this is the other point, too. When it comes down to the grappling, Joe Pyfer also, he can grapple, man. You know what I mean? Amedovski, he is a little apt, a little too prone to play jiu-jitsu, play off of his back, and give up his back in weird situations where he really shouldn't give up his back. I just wasn't super impressed by the grappling, and I think Joe Pyfer's size advantage is going to play a large role in that one too. So let's see what happens. But we got Joe Potty Bags Pyfer. All right, my man. Now this should be a quick one. Honestly, this one right here, it's gonna be a fun fight, but I think this should be a quick one because stylistically, it's literally one versus the other. It's Tanner Boser being the hybrid striker, never super commits to his shots, anything crazy, but he's willing to just play a tic-tac-toe battle with you and edge out a decision because he is this, in my mind, every time I see Tanner Boser, even though I'll actually look it up right now what his most recent weight was. Tanner Boser, his most recent weight coming into one of his fights was 255 pounds. So he's not super small, man. He's not super small. But every time I see him, I'm like, this dude reminds me of a light heavyweight fighting at heavyweight. Nascimento, not at all. That's a big boy right there. The thing that I don't like about Nascimento, to be completely honest with you right here, man, is this is full out grappling. If you don't get the fight to the ground, it's a hard shot at winning the fight. Tanner Boser, on the other hand, man, he's fought some pretty legit grapplers. He's been able to kind of evacuate himself from those situations. Let's not forget, after this is a rebooking. He was already supposed to fight Nascimento. The fight fell through. Then he says, you know what? I'll fight Alexander Romanov. No big deal. The confidence to go in there and say, I'll fight this dude, whatever. In Alexander Romanov, you got to think this dude isn't like, oh, I have no takedown defense. You know what I mean? You got to think that he's going to be a little well-versed there. The way he got taken down by OSP when they fought was a little troubling, right? He had the over and under, right? So overhook on one side, underhook on the other side, and then he got taken down on the underhook side. That's not good. And I don't want to be speaking too jargony technical analysis, but if you know anything about an underhook, you know that's not the side you're supposed to get taken down on. That's your power side. That's the side you want. With that being said, though, I think if Tanner Boser can maintain keeping this fight on the feet, he wins this very, very clearly. I think if he gets taken down the first time, he gets back up. If he gets taken out 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, this is Nascimento's fight all day. What chances do you give Nascimento if a takedown isn't apparent immediately in the fight?
Actually, better than I would think for how great Nascimento's jiu-jitsu is. The whole thing going back and forth to this one was the Alen Boudot fight, because I see the same thing. Tanner Boser doing the same thing, staying on his bike, getting out of range, controlling the distance, controlling the fight, and then when you get close, you know, you see that black line in front of you, he cuts off the angle, goes off, and just scoots out and then gets the angle again. What we saw with the Alen Boudot fight is when Rodrigues is coming in, or excuse me, Nascimento is coming in, he's able to hit you to the body, take the breadbasket, come in, start working you down, and then Boser starts to slow. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So if it stays standing, I'm hoping Rodrigo Nascimento does the same thing. Go for the breadbasket, get the man tired, get him hurting, land some leg kicks. Nascimento's got some serious power. The thing is, he's a plotter, though. So if Tanner Boser is able to stay on his bike, able to get around and avoid that plodding style of Nascimento, it's going to be a longer road and a longer fight for Nascimento on this one. What do you think?
I agree. I think Nascimento is not just a plotter. He's also not really fought stiff competition, right? Dontel Mays is literally his biggest fight, because the Alen Boudot fight doesn't count. That was a no contest, right? It ended up getting ruled as no contest. So it's like a win, but it doesn't count, you know? So Dontel Mays is your biggest win. Now, if you're Tanner Boser, you've already fought the who's who's. You fought the Arlovskis, the OSPs. You fought Ilir Latifi, Pessoa, Felipe Lins. Like, you fought these dudes already, you know what I mean? Cyril Gane, let's not forget. He fought Cyril Gane before Cyril Gane was Cyril Gane, right? So with that being said, man, Boser has the experience. I think he's overall a better fighter, but Rodrigo, he's a specialist, and specialists are always dangerous. They're always super dangerous. Now, the key is, who's the better mixed martial artist? I like Tanner Boser here. Would I be surprised to see Nascimento submit him? No, which is why I think that plus 375 is almost ludicrous. That's like take my money, please. You know what I mean? Like, but Tanner Boser, man, I also don't really see him squeaking out a decision in this fight. I don't. You know, I think that someone gets finished in this one, man. 2 heavyweights, 2 big boys going after it, man. Somebody's got to get finished. The only way I see a decision if Nascimento controls Boser on the ground for 3 rounds and isn't able to finish him. That's the only way I can see a decision. I could be wrong, but Boser, even though I kind of know him as this technical decision fest guy, he got a bunch of knockouts on his record, man. It's not like he's not knocking these dudes out. When he's winning, he's generally knocking you out, and he's coming off of a knockout win. So I like Tanner Boser here. Overall, more well-rounded fighter. Keep the fight on the feet. It's just going to be dangerous, tough sledding for Nascimento, who is a plotter, who is not built, I don't believe, to fight these hybrid heavyweights. However, you see it a little bit differently, man. So I like Tanner Boser. I like the TKO, and give me like a early second round TKO for Tanner Boser on this one. I think he gets the job done. Is Nascimento, AJ? This is the big question. Tap, nap, or snap? How's it happening?
You're right, Derick. No, this is an interesting one, because I agree. Tanner Boser is the better fighter, but does he have anything for Nascimento on the ground? Time will tell, man. Yeah. To be honest, if I'm putting money on this one, folks, if you're putting money on this one and you're rocking with my pick, you're going Nascimento. I say that plus 150 money line is all day long, because he put in a sleep knockout. Yeah, a little less likely. We might see some body seeing. We might see a standing TKO. Who knows? Submissions a little more likely. Same thing with the ground and pound. If you can't find the finish, that's how we get to a decision over there. Personally, though, if I see this one ending, I'm going submission, man. Plus 375 submission, and I'm going round 2.
Okay. Right on, man. So, yeah, that's the thing. Nascimento is going to be favorable for him. UFC Apex, man, smaller cage. You're going to have less room to work with if you're Boser, but Boser does have some pretty phenomenal footwork, man. So, as one of those hybrid heavyweights, man, it just kind of is what it is, man. And I'm not going to lie. It's gonna be a fun fight. It's gonna be a fun fight. Even though like on paper you're like, but no, that'll be a fun fight right here. But not more fun than this one, my man. Fluffy Hernandez versus the power bar, Marc-Andre Barriult. Now, AJ, man, even though there's a pretty stark difference in terms of like the Tapology rankings right here, I don't think these two are very far apart in terms of just like skill level, man. I think that Hernandez got the big boost over beating Vieira, but Marc-Andre Barriult is underrated, and he always has been, and I think he always will continue to be, which is why this is a scary pick for me. Because as you said it, I mean, listen, this is the sum up from the TLDR. Coin flip. It's as simple as that. It's just a coin flip. And are you feeling lucky? Huh, punk? You feeling lucky? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. That's how I feel right now. Fluffy Hernandez got some good striking, but so does Marc-Andre Barriult. Fluffy Hernandez has some excellent grappling, but so does Marc-Andre Barriult. The question here is cardio. That's my thing. Hernandez has a fantastic gas tank, but so does Marc-Andre Barriult. So, AJ, man, what is the big X factor? What is the big thing here that separates these two fighters? Because they're very similar in a lot of different ways.
A lot of different ways, man. For me, it's the leg kicks. I mean, and that's actually for Anthony Hernandez. I feel like he has the better leg kicks, which is the crazy thing. But if you're rocking with me on my bets for Marc-Andre Barriult, I think he's a grinder. I think he's a dog. And to say he's more of a dog than Anthony Hernandez is a little bit of a stretch as well, because they're both. We said it once, folks. We're going to say it again. This is a coin toss. Both these fighters are very, very similar. I think it's comes down to the thing where Anthony Hernandez had such of a big pop with submitting Rodolfo Vieira, where Marc-Andre Barriult has had to grind his way through the muck and through the mire, and I think that's going to come out in this fight where he's just going to be a grinder the entire time. Both of these dudes are very, very dangerous. Both these dudes are going to grind very, very hard for the fight, but I think Barriult is going to get the better of the exchanges. We'll see. Like I said, coin toss. What do you think? I
can see it happening, man. That's the tough part. I'm like playing out the visualizations in my head. I'm like, God damn, like I can see him just grinding him up against the cage and just controlling. But the scary part about Anthony Hernandez is anytime you get close to him, he's going for some submission. Mm-hmm. So you can't rest on your laurels if you're the power bar, right? Now, I can't understate that win against Josh Fremden in his last fight was so gigantic. It was enormous, man. That was a big control time win. Like I think he racked up almost 10 minutes of control time in that fight. It was fantastic, right? The win against Rodolfo Vieira exhausted him. That was just smart fighting, right? Here's the thing you got to take away. He submitted Jung Young Park, and if you don't think that's impressive, you don't know fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like the Iron Turtle is absolutely no joke, and to submit him, that's dangerous. Let's not forget he won a regional championship title against Brendan Allen, and he was able to decision Brendan Allen too. So that's also huge. Now 2 losses: Kevin Holland, right? And Kevin Holland is a great fighter, so you can't hang your hat on that when he got knocked out. Marcus Perez, he got submitted by Marcus Perez, and before Marcus Perez kind of fell off, that's a bad man right there. Now, with all that being said, man, the power bar when we're talking about this. Beverly Hills Ninja, you submit the man. Okay, he's a knockout artist, but that's still a huge win, right? You lose against Chidi, you get knocked out against Chidi Bang Bang, it happens, right? Decision Dolce Lungiambula. Now that's big right there. That is monstrous. Abu Azatar, right? Remember that one, AJ? That was a big one. You know what I'm saying? Come on, what's in the bag? I don't know what's in the bag, bro. Listen, with all of this being said, this is a coin toss on many different affairs. I do think Anthony Hernandez, even though he's the favorite here, I think a lot of people are still going to be sitting here thinking, I think Power Bar can get the job done. I think he can get the win. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to use this metaphor, man. You're at the edge of a cliff. And someone's going to push you off if you lose your bet. And your bet is on Marc-Andre Barriult. What exactly does he have to do to give you confidence that he's going to win?
Ooh. Get it to the ground and pound, avoid the submission. Very hard. I'm not risking my life. I'm like I said, this is a stay away. I stay away from the edge of the cliff, stay away from the money. Because that's a hard one. But if I had to see it, like I said, grind it up against the fence. We're seeing some elbows. We're seeing some body shots, taking to the ground, beat him up, let the ref come in and save a man. Hard though. What about you? What do you think?
So same scenario for me. If Anthony Hernandez is the guy, I'm on the edge of the cliff, and I'm like, what does he have to do for me to ensure the victory gets done or give me the confidence, instill confidence in me? You have to go submission hunting at every opportunity you see. He shoots, you jump guillotine. You know what I mean? There's a scramble, you scramble, and you get the back, and you grab his back and you rear naked choke him. If an arm is available, you got to take it. I think that's where it comes down to, because in the striking, I think they're going to be tit for tat in the striking, and just straight up grappling, it's just going to be a lot of scrambles. Safe to say, stay away from this one, folks, if you can. But given the spirit of competition, because we love doing this, and because we're putting our records on the line each and every single week, we have to make a pick. And with that being said, folks, I'm going to do something crazy here, something that I shouldn't do, and I'm going to do it anyways. Give me the submission, baby. Let's go, Fluffy Hernandez. Give me the submission, because when you're dealing with a stay away, when you're dealing with they're so evenly matched, anything can happen. And oftentimes when we think, oh, there's this one certain path, and the certain path in this one is we don't know what's going to happen, the thing you'd least expect to happen is going to happen. And do I think that on a normal day he submits Marc-Andre Barriult? No, but I think in this matchup, shit, man, anything's going down. Give me the submission, and give me that early second round. So I don't even know what the over and under is. Let me take a look. 2.5 rounds, minus 115 a pop. So they don't know, man. Odds makers don't know. Yeah, give me early second round. I'm taking the under. What are you thinking, brother? Power bar. How's he get it done?
It's a coin toss for even the odds makers, Derick. They don't even know if they want over and under. This one is a hell of a stay away. But for the competition, man, I've been battling this entire time we've been talking. I'm still battling it right now, whether I want to go TKO or whether I want to go decision. Either way, they're both a plus 300 for my boy Power Bar. I'm going TKO, and I'm going round 3.
TKO round 3. My man is taking the over. All right, folks, listen. If that didn't give you confidence, I don't know what's going to give you confidence right there, but we in for a hell of a night of fights on Saturday. UFC Vegas 60. I cannot wait, man. This is going to be so fun. And AJ, real quick, just remind me, because I don't think that I wrote it down, to be completely honest with you. The fight that we were just talking about, right? Tanner Boser, Rodrigo, Nascimento. I went TKO for Boser. What did you go? Did you go submission, Nascimento, or TKO? Man, I think you went submission.
I think I went submission. Pull up the odds again. Let me see. Let me make
sure. All right.
I think I went TKO, actually.
Boom. Rodrigo Nascimento.
No, yeah. Submission.
He's like, oh, no, plus 1,000? No.
Yeah.
Submission, and then I think you went round 2, right? And if you went round 2,
yep,
then that is that would be the under. That would be the under, brother. Okay, awesome. Now, listen, folks, that is your picks right there. And before we jump into the outro, because I forgot to do it, weird setup we got. Forgive me, people, forgive me. All right, let's jump back in here real fast, and let's take a look at this poster, brother. Come on. Real quick, man. Let's just give it a quick ranking. Show the people what we're talking about. Cory Sandhagen looks halfway asleep right here. This dude looks like he's high off of fucking mushrooms right now. I don't know what's going on. Song Yadong looks like he doesn't want to be there. I don't really like how you got the weirdness in the background, which kind of, in a way, feels like you're trying to mimic some, like, Chinese characters and whatnot. I don't really like that. I don't like the appeal. This poster kind of sucks. If you haven't seen it, folks, don't waste your time. I'm giving this a 2. What are you giving it, AJ?
I agree. I mean, I kind of liked at first the Chinese in the background, but then as the more you look at it, it kind of looks like jargon. It kind of looks like you don't really know what's going on. Neither of the fighters do. That's funny you said mushrooms, because those colors are something kind of you'd see in a mushroom trip. You're like, wow, this shit's kind of weird. Yeah. Don't go look at it, folks. It's an interesting poster. I'm giving this one like a 3. 3.
All right, there we go. My man saves the day with the 3. I'll just say this. And this is the note to all the graphic designers out there. If you're going to do something, do it right. You know what I mean? Go all in. Don't half-ass it. Go in. If you're going to go, commit. That's it. Just like you're doing a backflip. Commit. I'm just going to leave that for what it's worth. I can't do a backflip, so what do I know about committing? But still. All right, AJ, man. Listen. All right, brother. We in the outro. Hey, folks. Friendly reminder again. AJ, you tell the people, actually. I want it live in the air right now. I'm in New York. I'm not doing shit out here, man. You know what I'm saying? But will you be streaming the fights this weekend, AJ?
Yeah, I will, Derick. I'm getting the laptop set up. I have a few friends that want to go out and watch the fights, but I'm going to get the laptop set up so I can actually go on. We'll be live. We're going to be doing a fight companion this week. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Like I said, I'm setting the things up. I'm getting everything ready so I can get it done. Either way, we're going to be streaming on Twitch. You already know it's going to be a fun fight card this week. You can see the links on the bottom, man. Go check us out. It's gonna be an interesting one. Like I said, this card is gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be fun, and if you really want that inside perspective, man, if you want to know the X's and O's, and if you want to see what AJ's really thinking in real time, right? Maybe he's winning a fight, he's winning a matchup that he didn't think he would be winning. Oh fuck, you get the raw emotion, you get all that, you get professionalism here, right? You get thought out opinions here. You want raw in the motion, you know what I mean? Come on. I don't even know what I'm saying. Those words probably didn't even make sense. But if you want it, we got it. Let's go. All right, folks. Twitch.tv/Santa Fe Bomber. That's all you need to know. I know mine says Tap Napper Snap over there in the corner. And listen, I haven't been on Twitch in a little bit. I'm in New York. I'm not going to be on Twitch. But just keep that for future reference. We might be hopping back one of these days. But for now, streaming all goes to my man AJ. Fight companions, breakdowns, film study breakdowns.
the whole 9. You know what time it is. Now, once again, AJ, we're just going to ask for one thing, right? And that simple thing is this. We're going to ask the people, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit up the home, the hub. AJ, what else they need to do?
Woo! Rate us 5 stars and like you said, share it with your homie. Post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let us know you're out there. Comment on the stuff so we know who you are, because there's a solid little small army. I don't even know the exact number anymore, but 450 plus some out there. We know y'all got our backs. We got your back over here, winning money for you. Let us know who it is. Share it with your friends. Do us a big favor and post it on the social media so we can see, man. That's the best way to get us visibility. Word of mouth is always the best kind of advertisement, because we know we rocking with us. So let's see it. It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
And you know what, AJ? Because I'm an arbiter of truth, because I'm a man of the people, I have to just correct you real quick. Not quite 450. I want to get there soon. 426 approximately is the people that we have behind us. That is a very much a small army, but a very effective and resourceful army. Now, folks, this is the fun stat that I just like to see it, because I'm like, this is accumulation. This is hard work, blood, sweat, tears. AJ, man, believe it or not, as of right now, as of the day today is September 15th, I believe. 1.1 thousand videos. Is that 1.1K? 1.1? 1,100? There we go. 1,100-ish videos on YouTube right now. Folks, I want you to realize, okay, let me just give a little bit of transparency. And if you're watching right now, I mean, kudos to you, man. We love you. We appreciate you. And this is why you get this tidbit. This show, the Bloody Water Podcast, I know we got some high production value. Not right now because of, my situation, right? But I know we got some high production value. I know that we do things and we put it on for you guys, right? 1,100 videos, 426 subscribers. And you know who runs this entire thing? This entire operation? It's this guy right here. There he is. This guy right here and this guy right here. It's 2 of us. That's it. There's nobody else. There's literally nobody else. We don't have producers. We don't have all these people. It's 2 people. We run this entire thing. Blood, sweat, and tears. We love it so much. And as a byproduct, anybody who supports us, we love you too. And I just wanted to leave it at that. AJ, last words and let's get out of here.
Man, you said it best, Derick. It's a bare bones project.
Yeah.
We don't even count Boser in the background, man. This is just the 2 of us rocking over here. So we love and support you. And like Derick said, if you're watching this right now, man, we love all the support. Do us a big favor. Make sure you share it and let them know. Tag it up. Your favorite fighter's favorite fight show, because we're bringing you the best of all the odds. I kind of threw some subtle shade in the beginning, man. But if you're watching anyone on ESPN that's getting 1 for 5 picks right, come on, bro. Even last week, we had 4 different picks, and both of us went 3 for 3. It's crazy over here, man. Let us know. Give us the support. Share with your friends. Favorite fighters, favorite fight show, Bloody Water Podcast. Hit us up.
And my man, Yanni the Greek. I mean, listen, when you go 2 for 18 on some Dana White Contender Series picks, I'm just going to leave that up for what it's worth. All right, folks, listen, that's it. For real, we getting out of here. Until next time, we will catch you on the post show that will be coming out on Monday. And that's it for us, folks. Until next time. Peace.